Very good. I still got to play that. I think it is spurious. The Game Awards Game of the Year. For some reason, the Game Awards Game of the Year gets this super special privilege of being the Game of the Year awards, and I don't understand that. Again, it's because the name of their outlet is the Video Game Awards. So I think it borrows on that misnomer, right? Like, it leans heavily on the idea that people will think that their choice is the Game of the Year because they are the Video Game Awards, but really, they're the same as any other outlet. It's just that their name is the Video Game Awards. And that name, the Video Game Awards, is not what it sounds like it means, right? It's not the definitive Game Awards. It's just the Video Game Awards that they have called themselves, which is really fucked because, as I say, saw hundreds of arguments today on Twitter and not one specifying a single outlet. All of them referring to the Game of the Year, which can't exist. Ridiculous. Popular, yeah, Volta, love it. I love how in tune you are with the memes, man. It's great. Sonic Mania, yeah, I thought Sonic Mania was great. It certainly wasn't up there as a Game of the Year for me, but it was very cool. I think its final boss lacked a lot, which is what sort of knocked it down for me. Good choices, though. Yeah, for sure, Reth. No, definitely. Destiny 2, yeah, obviously it's got a lot of problems, but for your personal experience, the time you had with it and the reasons you like it, definitely, I can see why.
It's been too long.
Manifold, dude, 26 months in a row. Cheers, mate, good to see you. Dude, Volta, being in tune with Weddy memes, that's crossing a bridge, man, I love it. Had good fun with Destiny 2, but it felt really empty and small for a full release. Especially a full sequel release that was supposed to be the bigger, better version of the first and really wasn't. Goaty was Nier, yep. If I was choosing just games from this year, Nier's mine as well, for sure. I think Neo would be... Neo was great, I enjoyed it, but it wouldn't be Game of the Year material for me. But Nier, yeah. Nier was fucking amazing. I loved it. I loved it so much. I really did. Bloodborne never got Goaty. Again, Goaty from who? What are we talking about? I'm sure Bloodborne got millions of Goaties. What do you mean? Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yeah, that's out before the end of the year, is it? G'day, Yippee Skippy. How are you, mate? What's up, dude? That is so cool that Miyazaki wanted to shift his work to a more Victorian, Gothic, Lovecraftian setting, and in my opinion, it turned out to be his magnum opus. But he likes knights and medieval stuff more. I fully understand, and I could not agree more. Fuck yeah. We won 2 Knicks, yeah, it's just been hard to fit it in at the moment, and I don't think the next few weeks are going to be much better, because we're going to be Comp Force racing a lot more regularly, because Darius finally has internet. As of today, apparently. Nier had great gameplay, but the writing was poor? How so? I've studied writing for most of my life. The writing was exceptional from the perspective of somebody who studied literature and syntax. Why did you think it was poor, and what position were you taking from, or are you speaking from? What experience do you have with writing within the video game world? What specifically made it feel bad to you? The way the narrative was delivered was uniquely spectacular and only available in the video game industry, right? In the video game platform as a medium. The multiple playthrough aspect and how the story evolved based on the subsequent playthroughs. The writing in the first Nier Gestalt as well was spectacular. More so than Automata, I think, but I certainly wouldn't say it was bad writing or poor. Not a popular opinion either. Interesting that you presented it as a fact as well and not as an opinion. Not that you felt the writing was poor, but that it was, definitively. Interesting. Because its surface level story tricks many into thinking that's all there is to it, thus falling short? I guess so, if you only played the first playthrough maybe?
Brother!
Oh, baby.
It's been too long.
Maximilian, dude! How's that new Injustice characters going, man? Oh, with that fucking $10 sub as well. Thanks, mate. I'm fixing this Prime sub bullshit. Baby! Thanks, man. Welcome. officially to the motherfucking expletives, dude. Good to see ya. I've been peeking at your Bloodborne playthrough last week, but I haven't been able to watch much of it because I didn't want to spoil anything. Fucking good though. Hard, dude. What a fucking powerful run. Killed it. Speaking of Bloodborne, I think it's time for us to keep going. Last night we made it through, was it something's loft? Melof's loft? Melot? I was in the nightmare, of course. Murgo, that's it. Murgo's loft. Level 4 run, yeah. It took like 45 hours. All I remember is thinking, because I was watching bits, all I remember is thinking, fuck. The cunt's made it further than I have. On a level 4 run. Already. And I started weeks before him. Like, it just put into perspective how fucking painfully slow I am at playing these games. Which is cool. I definitely think that's a huge benefit to my style as a broadcaster, but it certainly it created a nice contrast. Did you play Automata before Gestalt or after? After. I played Gestalt randomly the year before. Not originally or anything. People had kept saying to me Nier was great. We didn't even know Automata was being made. And then it was like my birthday, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get myself a birthday present. I'm gonna find an eBay copy of fucking Nier and get it, and we'll play it. And we did, and it turned out to be my game of the year of last year as well, by a margin too. The writing, the characters, and the voice acting in Nier Gestalt. Some of the finest video games I've ever had to offer. And it is unfortunately held back by a variety of other bullshit game mechanic stuff, which is why it was so exciting when Platinum jumped on board to deal with the combat. But yeah, I played it maybe a few months before Automata was announced, and then everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Vice, right? Vice, you dumbass! I love that. Oh, Kanye and Vice, not Kanye, Kanye and Vice. Oh, just legit. I gotta let my cat out 1 sec. Kanye West. Yeah, no, if you haven't played Nier Gestalt, I highly recommend trying to track down a copy at some point, because it does connect to Nier Automata as well, not in any significant way, just a couple of character connections and references, because it takes place in such a different time. But it is the same world, and it is very interesting. And yeah, it's just, yeah, Salvation, right? Brods, what a track. The soundtrack is just, it plays a little bit like a Zelda, I guess, and it's just super fucking cool. Did you ever play Drakengard? No. The next time I play Nier, it will be Drakengard 3, Drakengard 1, Nier Gestalt, and then Nier Automata, which I'll do on very hard next time. Should be a dick mincer. Because I believe that's Drakengard 3 was a prequel to 1, so we'll do that first, the prequel, and then the follow-up would be Drakengard 1, and then a particular ending of Drakengard 1, I think it was ending D or ending E, is the precursor to Nier. And I'm very interested to see how all that connects, and I do believe there were references to Drakengard in Automata as well, like a big red woman, or like a red dressed girl towards the end and stuff. I'd love to know where all that comes from, so we'll definitely be doing that. I haven't played the Automata DLC. No, I have no interest in it. I might look at it next time around, but from what I heard, it's like a boss gauntlet or something that doesn't add to the narrative in any meaningful way. And it has like a Square Enix director or producer or something as one of the bosses. It's very tacky. I was talking about the original Nier King, yeah. Very hard. Oh, I did it on hard last time, Fading, which was really challenging, especially the first section. But honestly, the difficulty was poorly tweaked in that game anyway. Very hard to be one-hit kill, which I think will make it really interesting in terms of which modifications we'll use. Like a bunch of the mods will just be redundant, but then a bunch that weren't very helpful before will be super helpful, so focusing on that'll be cool. I didn't play it on PC, Wallace. I played it on PS4. I actually played it on the Japanese launch of PS4 because it had an English version included with it, but it was about 3 weeks or 4 weeks earlier. So, and I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait for Nier. Yeah, I heard they're nuts, Gilf. Alright, on to Bloodborne. Yeah, fading for sure, man. The balancing is really weird. If I was to critique Nier Automata, I'd say that the level balancing and the difficulty balancing is off and doesn't feel tight at all. And even with the first Nier, I played that on hard. Just a bad idea. Play it on normal. Hard just makes it tedious.
It's been too long.
Oh, shit, Riceball, you're right. Admiral Baru. New viewer here. Anyone give me a sub? Fuck off, dickhead. I don't want you begging bullshit in my chat, alright? Good to see you, mate. Thank you for 41 months in a row. What an absolute pleasure. Cheers, man. Good to see you. Unreal. Unfucking real. Yeah, Katso. It was crazy innovative gameplay, even if it didn't feel perfect all the time. It was definitely creative and fun, and I really enjoyed that about it. The combat was not quite as good as I expected from Platinum. Neither for me, but it was good enough, I thought. Definitely a step up from the original Nier. You didn't enjoy the subsequent playthroughs? Really? That was the part I enjoyed the most. Playing through as different characters. I thought that was a really, really, really cool part of it. We need to upgrade our weapon. I forgot. We finally found another rock. Yes. Yes. One rock we found. That's a second rock we've found. So now I have a plus 10 Raita Palash and a plus 10 Rakuyo as well. Fuck yeah, man. I think we should also upgrade the Evelyn a bit more. We can now. And we've got 20 chunks. Fuck, if I have a few more echoes, I can upgrade the Evelyn to plus 9. Let me just double check what gem I put in there. Blood attack. That's fantastic. Oh, wait. That's even... Oh, that one... Yeah, that's the one that depletes HP. We don't want that. I haven't actually looked at my weapons gems in a while.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
Mr. Cocoa Nuts. Welcome to the Expletives, mate. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying the show. Cheers, man. No, I don't think there are many new gems. Or, wait. Increases stamina cost slightly. I can deal with that. Oh, oh no, that's the HP continuously depletes one. Which I should just fucking sell so I don't have to look at it anymore. What's this one? That's fucking... Oh, every time. Ooh, oh. Ooh, oh. Alright. What about the Rakuyo? Anything juicy on that? Nah. Not gonna fall for it that time. Got in here, anything good? Nah, it looks like we're pretty good all round. Oh, what's that? Oh, alright, I'm out, I'm done. Ridiculous. That's cool though. We've got the Evelyn at plus 8 now, and we can get it to plus 9. Nah, we might as well. I don't think I'll be doing Chalice Dungeons, so I can get rid of some of that shit. Whoa, 10,000? Really? Interesting. Sell the old gems, you get some echoes. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, is it? fortify that Evelyn one more. Yeah. Fuck yeah. So our third rock will be for the Evelyn. And that's kind of the perfect trio of weapons for me right now. I like that. I like that a lot. But the Rakuyo is now plus 10, finally. God, I wish I had that earlier. But we put it on the Rider Plush. Although we used the Rider Plush for Orphan of Kos and shit, it's worked out really well. Not to mention, it's just such a good parry weapon. You can gift subs. Yeah, we've already had a few people gifting subs around. It's been great.
It's been too long.
Mount Everett, thank you for 2 months in a row, mate. What's up, dude? Good to see you. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Do you like the gem system in Bloodborne? Not really, no. I think the only thing that's ever worth getting is like a physical attack up and shit, right? The rest of it seems arbitrary. Maybe if I was into multiple playthroughs and really like tricking out every weapon perfectly, there might be some alternate options, but for the most part, it seems like you just want to go physical attack. Like it's all shit. If I was using like the hammer that has fire, then I would use a fire gem on it or something. Or if I was using the mace that has the lightning, I could use a lightning gem on it. And I do use blood gems on some blood weapons, but typically speaking, it just seems like a much better idea to always focus on physical attack. Right? I don't know. Seems weird. It seems half-assed as a system, I guess. Compared to the polish of the rest of the game, it doesn't seem like it fits in as well. Did you beat Old Hunters and start New Game Plus? No. I beat Old Hunters and continued. Is there anything at the Insight shop, or did you buy it all? There's plenty of stuff at the Insight shop. You just started up New Game Plus because of this run? I'm so glad to hear it, man. Enjoy. Fucking rad, dude. Some of the side quests weren't very inspired? Really? Oh. What's happening? What's happening? That was weird. Oh, pleasure, Abd. Thanks for watching, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed it. For me, although the actions required in the automata side quests were fairly standardized, I was always profoundly impacted by the narrative of those side quests. Each of them seemed to have a deeper meaning. They often had their own unique soundtrack or unique music to play out, and it almost felt like a 1-2 punch, like a trick punch, you know, like a sucker punch. It was like, oh, you got to do this boring side questy stuff like Final Fantasy 15, and then whoa, okay, holy shit, you're actually taking this in a level I didn't expect. Whoa, okay, this is really cool. And then a lot of them were cute little narrative quests, and the fact that you could. When you restarted the game and played the second playthrough and the third playthrough and so on and so forth, you didn't need to do all the side quests again. The progress that you had made had already been tracked. Things you had done had already been done. So I thought it made it really enjoyable. Because when I finished the game, I'm like, no! I didn't finish all the side quests. I needed to go back and do the... Oh, I can do them all again now. I can finish them off. That's great. I thought that was really rather innovative design, and it felt really cool. That baby's too close now. It just sets me off. I think I can go up here, right? Yeah. Any word on when you're starting Cuphead? I know you mentioned it yesterday. It should be tomorrow. No idea why I did that. Just, I don't think I've ever done that. Okay. Wonderful. Glad we got that one out of the way. The first death of the day. Darius is getting his internet today. I'll send him a little good luck message, actually. With the net.
Brother, it's been too long.
Thank you, Krasinov, for 2 months, man. Come for the game, stay for the cunt. You're not alone. Thanks, mate. That's better. Yeah, Darius should be getting his internet today. If he does, then tomorrow afternoon, probably a few hours from now, is when we would start, I imagine. That would be my guess. Is Yosefka's blood still here? No. I just don't get that. Why would Yosefka's blood be in a chest here? How odd. Yeah, Chili, it will be for sure. Yeah, so no, I think that might have been the case. That's fine. I'm glad that I didn't. I enjoyed that for it. So, following the events of yesterday, we are now currently in the Nightmare. I still cannot place in my mind what that means. When we fought Mikolash here, it said that he was the host of the Nightmare. It also said something to the effect that the school that he is a part of, the School of Menzies, have some way of accessing the Nightmare, which is different to how the Nightmare is typically accessed, which is, of course, when a hunter drinks too much blood, they eventually turn into a beast, and then sometimes end up in the Nightmare. I'm not sure why there are beasts. Maybe it's normal people who drink too much blood turn into beasts and stay in the real world. Hunters who drink too much blood eventually go to the Nightmare. Anyway, there was the old Hunter's Nightmare, which seems to be Gurmy's Nightmare, from what I can tell. And then this Nightmare is Mikolash's Nightmare. And when we killed him, he said, no, I'll have to wake up again and I'll forget everything, which added some other serious implications as well. He's the host of the Nightmare. Why, when he woke up, did the Nightmare continue? Because we're still in it. And I think that question might be explained by this. We know, of course, that the choir split from the Healing Church, and they went back to doing what they were doing at Bergenworth before they became the Healing Church. We know that they are trying to perform a ritual in order to contact the Great Ones. And we know that the Great Ones are contactable from within the Nightmare. We also know that the ritual that they are performing requires a baby. And that brings us to here, the highest point of this Nightmare. This would be a grieving mother. You can see her hands are bound, and she's clearly had a baby removed from her. You can hear the baby crying. I'm not exactly sure what all of this entails, and I don't think I can speak to her. She's inconsolable. Nor do I know who she is. Either way, it would appear that they got the baby that they needed to perform the ritual to contact the Great One, to perhaps create a new Great One, because we've certainly heard of baby Great Ones. Now I can hear my actual baby crying in the background as well. This is just way too meta. Ah. More members of the School of Menzies, as indicated by the caged heads. They almost seem to be in an audience or something, right? Very interesting.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
Hey Mo, welcome to the Expletives, man. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying the show, dude. Cheers. Remember, of course, too, that the blood moon does not exist in this nightmare. Would appear we found the baby. Virgo's wet nurse. If we are now currently in Murgo's loft, and that is Murgo's wet nurse, then would Murgo be the child? How does that work? Also, one hell of a wet nurse, huh? I thought that was too easy. Jesus fucking Christ, hello. Music is crazy. Not seeing a baby either. The bones crunching underfoot. Oh. Where's the baby? Jesus. This is way too easy, I'm spooked. Seen ya, motherfucker. Seen ya, motherfucker. Whoa! Didn't say here. Whoa! Whoa! Okay, I see where it gets hard. Shit. I see the difficulty spike. Fuck! Thank fuck she hits for nothing. Otherwise I would be so dead. Nightmare Slane. The same thing as it said when we killed Orphan of Kos, yeah? Not prey slaughtered. Nightmare slain. So even if Mikolash was the host of the nightmare was drawing its power from something else. In this case, I assume it was the child. And if it was Gurmi's nightmare, then it was the Orphan of Kos, or Kos perhaps, that was creating the power that kept that alive, maybe? Maybe we'll learn some more here. Some of the best lore on these umbilical cords. That's the 3. In the lecture hall, they said that there were 3 third cords. Every great one loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate. The 3rd umbilical cord precipitated the encounter with the pale moon, which beckons the hunters and conceived the hunter's dream. So the hunters were called to the hunter's dream. And it was created. And the hunter's dream is somehow connected to the nightmare, because a great one lost its child and yearned for a surrogate. Perhaps this was the attempt to give it its surrogate? Willem sought the cord in order to elevate his being and thoughts to those of a great one by lining his brain with eyes, the only choice he knew if man were to ever match their greatness. So Willem did something to get a cord, contributed to the loss of a great one's child, contributed to providing a surrogate. He did something, he figured out something that would allow him to perhaps become a great one himself, or at the very least gain some of their power. And finally, every great one loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate. This cord granted Menzies audience with Murgo, but resulted in the stillbirth of their brains. They do all read something different, and all something equally profound as well. I can't wait, Borky, but I shouldn't read it now. Reading it now would only obscure my interpretation of events. Remembering, of course, that the Pale Blood Hunt is a single person's interpretation of events, and not the actual events. Because there are no actual events, because Miyazaki didn't include any actual events. But by reading somebody else's interpretation of events, I would obscure my own, and that would deny me one of the great beauties of this game, and of any interpretive work, the ability to formulate your own perspective, right? I intend to, though. A great relic, also known as the Cord of the Eye, every infant great one has this precursor to the umbilical cord. This cord granted Menzies audience with Murgo. Okay. Menzies is a school, not a person, right? The school of the caged heads, of which we know Damien was a part, and he worked at Bergenworth and protected Master Willem. We also know that Mikolash was one of the Menzies motherfuckers, that he did not like the idea of beasts and blood and thought they were crude to some degree, but had, due to his school, found another way to access the nightmare. And having accessed the nightmare, had gone mad and decided to stay there forever. He had no intention of ever leaving in the nightmare. So then the question becomes, who is Murgo and why are we in his loft? This entire castle, which apparently doesn't even exist outside of the nightmare, to the best of my knowledge. Murgo must be a great one. Because it is within the nightmare that an audience can be gained with a great one. So it must be that the school of Menzies created their own nightmare, this nightmare, by whatever means they did. Different, of course, to the previous nightmare we were in, the Hunter's Nightmare, conceived by Gurman. That seemed to have been specifically somehow related to blood and beasts. This nightmare, independent of blood and beasts. So they found a way into this nightmare and found an audience with Murgo, presumably here at Murgo's Keep. But it resulted in the stillbirth of their brains. So they reached too far and all died as a result of it. Except Mikolash, by the look of it. How interesting. This one little piece here gives us enough information. The item explains very well who Murgo is. This item. I don't think it explains very well. Does it imply in some way that I'm missing? Other than the fact that Murgo would appear to be a great one, and the only link there would be the word audience, and how often the word audience is used when talking about humans connecting with great ones, right? Does stillbirth mean it fucked their brains? I guess so. It's a very weird translation though, isn't it? Mick is toucan short of a six-pack, right? Mikolash is fucked up in the head. Clearly. But then who isn't? So is Willem, right? Anybody who has actually achieved their goal of eyes on the inside should theoretically be completely batshit fucking crazy. Particularly anybody that spent any reasonable amount of time near one of the things we don't know about in this place. There's a giant fucking grotesque eye monster that fucks anybody that comes anywhere near it or anywhere near Murgo's loft. Is that Murgo? Interesting. Needing to evolve their brains to ascend. It's alright, the speculation's okay at this point, Malachite. Most people are playing ball by the look of it. The mods have got anybody that won't be. And we're approaching that point in the game where everything is starting to come together. About figuring shit out, right? Well, it's the process. It's that journey of discovery that is so much more powerful and memorable and impactful than the discoveries themselves most of the time, right? I've always found that anyway. Take a look at my last two comments. You fought Murgo's wet nurse, who flew in and covered up the baby carriage. The theme that plays during that fight is called Lullaby for Murgo. And the woman we see outside the area was pregnant with a bloody stomach. I did note that she had obviously had the baby. And I did note earlier that Murgo could be the baby, but that doesn't seem to make any sense to me. I always assumed Mikolash was already dead and only alive in the nightmare. My thinking was that the body you touched to access the nightmare was his. That makes perfect sense, Sil. Except when you kill Murgo, he says, oh no, now I will have to wake up again and forget everything. He was looking up to this area. Yeah, oh no. I feel like you're trying to point me in a direction, but I don't know what direction it is, Three Dog. Yes, she was looking up to this area. Every creature has looked toward the Great Ones so far, right? All the little creatures in the Healing Church were looking towards Ebrietis. Many of the dead bodies we've found were in praying positions, directly pointing towards Great Ones. She is as well. The implication would be that Murgo is the child and Murgo is the Great One. But if that's the case, then how the fuck is this Murgo's loft? I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. And then the big eye creature that I killed, was that not Murgo? Was that Murgo reborn? And is that the point? The rebirth of it? God, it's so convoluted. 78,000? Hold on. It's no guarantee that Mikolash himself actually knew that he was dead. He may have thought he was still alive, as the Menzies school had a means of accessing the nightmare beyond normal means. But then, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? There's no way. He may have not known that his actual body had died. Interesting. Thought it was odd that the wet nurse didn't seem to bleed. That's interesting. That other creatures in here don't bleed as well. And you can guarantee that they don't bleed. Although it looks like she did, by the way. There are creatures in here, puppets of Mikolash, that don't bleed. And so far as I know, they're the only enemy in the game that doesn't restore your health when you lose it by attacking. I've not seen any other enemies that actually don't do that. Interesting too that kin bleed white, but great ones bleed red. That could imply that the kin come from somewhere else, from the cosmos. They bleed white, they are a different species, but the great ones that we know of were once human. Humans that have elevated and evolved into their great one status, and that themselves became child, were born via this ritual, which hasn't been performed for many, many years, and only now is attempting to be performed again by the choir after leaving the Healing Church. That's interesting too, Bones.
Brother, it's been too long.
Hey, Hypnos, thanks for 20 months, mate. Good to see you. How you doing? Personal thought, I've always felt the nightmare isn't as much as individuals' nightmare. More of an alternative plane, something the great ones have access to. I just felt that once I had destroyed the Orphan of Kos, the eye in the sky changed to a moon. And I spoke to Gurmi after. No, I spoke to the doll afterwards, and she talked about a relief that he had experienced as a result. That it was over, that his torment was over. And of course, he muttered in his sleep about Lawrence, and obviously Lawrence did some shit he regretted. Gurmi did some shit he regretted. They hadn't achieved what they had achieved. Ludwig also spoke of loss and mourning for the progress of the Healing Church and wanted to hear that they were still doing well, you know, that were still on the right path. Fuck knows what Maria was doing in there, attempting to backpedal from the nightmare. It felt less like a specific plane of existence and more like somebody's concept of it, I guess. But if that's not true, then that nightmare and this nightmare might actually be the same plane of existence. Let's think of it in Stranger Things terms, the upside down, yeah? Which is not the first time to do that. Fucking The Witcher does it with the conjunction of the spheres. There's many other sources throughout fiction of the idea of two separate planes of existence that overlap. If that's the case, then we know there's space. It is, they both exist in the same space. We don't know their time. This certainly seems considerably older than Yharnam in the modern world, I guess. And the old hunters, obviously so. The orphan's cry at the end of that cutscene that plays when you first encounter the orphan is a baby's cry, that then morphs into Gurman's cry. That's crazy. I have been to the Nightmare Frontier and killed the Amygdala, yep. I did that before the DLC. That was weeks ago now, I can't remember. Also the idea of a third plane. So within the Hunter's Nightmare, the old Hunter's Nightmare, you are going through another version of Yharnam. But then you climb the Astral Clock Tower, you kill Maria, and you go through the clock tower. And then you are above. Then you are in the sky, then you are in the cosmos. Would that suggest a third plane of existence, independent of the human world and the nightmare? Because that world definitely is physically above the nightmare. And that's confirmed, at least in my mind, by one of those fucking crusty Asians falling from the sky and landing in front of you. And then, of course, when you are in the...
It's been too long.
Overlord, thank you for 25 months in a row, mate. Good to see you, dude. What's up? Cheers, man. When you are in the higher plane, you are looking down on Yharnam, protected by a barrier of water. And of course, water was a huge component of the DLC. The idea that water separates their world from ours. But which world? Yeah, Listo, it's a big one. You can see the Hamlet ship mast from the frontier as well. Yeah, I remember pointing that out, making a big deal out of it at one point. Yeah, Sil, that's... I haven't gotten that far yet, I guess. I know that Maria was one of the first hunters to serve under Gurman. I did not know that she chose to enter the nightmare willingly. But it would make sense if Gurman made the dolls that he would make them look like her. That makes sense. Seems to be infatuated with her. Isn't it the same with Nightmare of Menzies? You have Nightmare Frontier and an Amygdala and stuff, and you are standing high up in the skies, almost on one level with the moon? Possibly. Hear the ocean dripping and so on. It certainly hints at the whole ocean with Cos was above them, indeed. What if the mother and her child were part of Menzies creating a surrogate for a great one, which is what Murgo will eventually become? Yeah, that part I just can't seem to get right yet. No worries, Three Dog, and thanks, mate. Appreciate it. That's interesting too, French, yeah. I hadn't noticed that. You did get one piece of the puzzle after you killed Maria. When you spoke to the doll, she said she felt relief. Right, yeah. Still too arbitrary to place. That's alright. Already, just that every little bit that we do, a hell of a lot more understanding and discovery, particularly in this case that the School of Menzies found a way of accessing this world that wasn't the normal way of doing it, I guess. The way it had been done before. There's a big piece of this puzzle that's only found in the chalices, really. She bowed and then left. Was that her way of saying thank you? For saving her child? I certainly don't feel like that's what I did, though. I don't feel like a savior. How bizarre. This is also now a dead end of some kind. There's still one more place in here I haven't explored properly. Never seen that? Interesting. I wonder what precipitated it. The baby's not crying anymore, yeah. It would appear that I've silenced him. Didn't look like a bow, looked more like a slump. Looked like a bow to me. Ah, probably that's interesting. I figured that might be a translation thing. Stillborn was lost in translation. Can I have a chat here, please? Without your shit again? Dude once submitted a theory that all nightmares are connected, referring to the masts visible in both the fishing hamlet and the Nightmare Frontier. Yeah, I definitely pointed them out when I was in the Nightmare Frontier, and again once we got to the fishing village. But that does make sense. That both of those areas were above. But then we know below is still a part of the nightmare, not the real world. So is it... Where does it... Oh, God, it's fucking convoluted. I love it. Definitely a bow. Yeah, it looked like a bow to me as well. Usually you kill the boss and bone out. Right. Makes sense. I've still got a couple of places I want to explore in here. I'm not sure if I've finished this place completely. There's definitely one place I can't figure out. The pillars in the Hunter's Dream, that's another interesting one. I have not yet figured out the pillars at all. You think the woman was Murgo and the baby was her surrogate? But the woman was the wet... Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Interesting. Very difficult to define the exact nature of nightmares and how they work. That's what's so beautiful about it, yeah? We are able to have our own interpretation of what it is, what it means. It's so good. Philosophy recently made a really interesting discovery that the Orphan's weapon is actually filled with curse bulges you can find on the cursed blood gems, but on a massive scale. I know the ones you're talking about, that's interesting. The surrogacy is a big part of this story we're missing out on not connecting. Definitely seems to be the goal of the choir, right? The reason why this is all happening was because of the choir, and they've somehow used this... So why did Mikolash's name say host of the nightmare? What are your thoughts on that? Was he chained up to that chair? Did he willingly create... Chalices would reveal that answer? Ah, okay. The woman's name is told in the chalices. Ah. Let's keep walking around in circles now. This is all just a dead end, right? My God. A lot of the chalice items specifically have some dank lore. But not just the items, you need to pay attention to the various characters and environments as well. Interesting. Maybe they just used him as a way to get into the nightmare, yeah. Maybe they created the nightmare? Yeah, there's just nothing to facilitate that. Again, he was the host, Mikolash, a character we've never heard of before, up until that point, and never again, by the look of it. I'm just gonna go back and go down, because it's just painful. Are we excited about Phantom Whale, From's upcoming game? I had not heard of Phantom Whale.
Good hunter, you have come. Dawn will soon break. This night and this dream will end. Gammon awaits you at the foot of the great tree. Very well. Let the echoes become your strength. Let me stand close. Now shut your eyes. Farewell, good hunter. May you find your worth in the waking world.
Just forget to put out that spliff. Halt the source of the spreading scourge of beasts. I imagine I have done that?
Brother! It's been too long.
Zeknos. Think of it 5 months in a row, man. Good to see him, eh? I recommend going back to the Cathedral Ward and brutally murdering everyone you can find. What? Okay, we'll do that in a minute. I'm starting to feel like we're at the end of the game. I don't remember much of the end of the game last time. It was all so sudden, it all just sort of wrapped up instantly. But I think we're there. Hold on. There's so much I don't know. This. What the fuck is this? Choir and the School of Menzies might be enemies. That's interesting. That's a very interesting thought. How do you know this? Well, I found it earlier. But there was nothing here. We ran around here for ages, couldn't figure it out. Could I have, when I pulled the lever and dropped the big frenzy beast? Goddamn eyes follow you. We can't very well leave you down here forever, can we? Oh god, you're not dead. Now I just feel mean. Well, every other fucking time I've come up to a weird fucking creature and spent 50 fucking minutes walking around trying to figure out what to do, it always ends up with some cunt like Three Dog going, just fucking hit it and see what happens. So here I am just fucking hitting shit and see what happens, and I fucking come across the one thing in the game that you can't just hit it and see what fucking happens. Well, you got me fucked. Brewdog said the chat was giving me a hint.
It's been too long.
Soothingly, thank you for 19 months. Good to see you, mate. I missed chat's clue. I'm sorry I bashed you a bit, alright? Just be fucking nice, mate. Let's make contact. Huh. I'll be fucked. Of all the innocuous random bullshit that you don't do in this game, but you think you should do constantly, but it never gives you anything ever. This is the one that does. A transcription of Moon as spoken by the Great Ones inhabiting the Nightmare. Gain more blood echoes. The Great Ones that inhabit the Nightmare are sympathetic in spirit and often answer when called upon. Now you may murder it. I don't like being this mean, and I'm sorry. But you did try to fuck me with a lot of frenzy, so, I mean... I just feel like an asshole. A living string. The immense brain that Menzies retrieved from the nightmare was indeed lined with eyes on the inside, but they were of an evil sort, and the brain itself was terribly rotten. But even still, it was a legitimate great one, and left behind a relic, a living relic at that, which is a precious thing indeed. Menzies retrieved from the nightmare. I wonder if they're the ones that hung it up there? Then of course we are still in the nightmare, so what, they retrieved it and then put it back? Or used it as a way to defend their castle within the nightmare? And of course this is another one of those items that you use in the chalices, right? Like that one. Well, I'll be fucked. Glad I found it. Because I came down here before, I spent 20 minutes running around going, what the fuck is this? I had never thought for a second that when I dropped that big cunt down, this is where he would land. Makes perfect sense though. Huh. What does lined with eyes mean? It means, you could equate it to going mad. And evolving. He's been here before. Oh, I came here when I first got here. Yesterday. Maybe they retrieved it from another nightmare, but that would support the idea that there are multiple nightmares, and I'm not really sure that there are at this point. They could have retrieved it from another place in the nightmare, and then taken it to Murgo's loft, and hung it up there. Perhaps as a way to keep people from the School of Menzies out while the choir was... Maybe the choir did it. Alright, so the School of Menzies finds this great one, whatever its name is. Right? And they bring it out of the nightmare. The choir annihilate all of the School of Menzies, except Mikolash, who they keep alive, although he is not aware of it, so that they can access Murgo's loft. That would mean that Murgo is very important to their specific plans. So then they take this big fucking rotten brain great one. After slaughtering the School of Menzies, they dive back into the nightmare via Mikolash. They keep him alive in his little nut job fucking section. They hang this giant fucking fuck-off brain here as a way, because anybody in presence of it, for whatever reason, you get fucked by frenzy, and you find, just out the front there, you find maybe 5 or 6 dead cunts from the Healing Church by the look of it. Probably the ones that tried to hang the eye up and got seen. And all of them drop a great one's wisdom, not a madman's knowledge, which of course would be from somebody who, you can see here the image, there's a phantasm coming out of the brain, right? So this is somebody who has begun to line their brain with eyes. They've begun this process of evolution that allows them to see further into the cosmos. This, however, is some full-on shit. Proper fucked up. We are thinking on the basest of planes. What we need are more eyes. So, of course, this particular discovery must have been something massive. Because even just standing in its presence, you get insta-fucked. Which plays in a little bit to the idea of the stillbirth of the brain, right? Which is what they said happened to the School of Menzies. Stillbirth in their brains. That's why I feel like the big creature is Murgo. We don't know the name of that great one. It could be Murgo. This is Murgo's loft, of which that great one is found in. And we know that contact with that great one causes stillbirth of the brain. Really? Which further supports my hypothesis that Murgo is that beast we just killed. Maybe it was used to protect Murgo, sure, but it's a great one itself, right? Protect themselves, protect Murgo, yeah. It does suggest there's multiple dreams. Yeah, it does, but it doesn't explicitly state that there are. And as Dude pointed out, from the Nightmare Frontier in the Menzies Nightmare, you can see the exact same ship masts as you can in the Hunter's Nightmare when you are in the fishing hamlet. Both places being above the rest of the nightmare. Which does suggest they are of the same area, right? Crazy thing is the Nightmare Realm has buildings and structures like the real world. Was it all built? Were there thousands in the Nightmare at once? Right. Back in the days of the beasts and the hunters. Trying to find what Captain Canuck said. But I'm not getting much. Feels more like different paths to the nightmare. If you go in via the School of Menzies, you come in here at the lecture hall. Also, if you go in via a tonsil stone through an amygdala, because that's another way into this nightmare, right? You take a tonsil stone and you let an amygdala, which are all over Yharnam, but you can't see them unless you're insane enough to. And that's another interesting thought. Were the amygdala always there? But nobody had enough eyes to see them? How must have they felt after studying at Bergenworth when they first saw their amygdala everywhere? Completely fucking covering the entire city of Yharnam outside of the nightmare. But if you take a tonsil stone and an amygdala grabs you and sucks you up, you go into the nightmare. So that's a third way into the nightmare, right? Perhaps it's via that method that the School of Menzies discovered theirs, as opposed to the consume too much blood and the scourge of the beast. You get picked up by an amygdala even when you didn't see it at the beginning. Yes, you do. And it kills you. Because you don't have a tonsil stone, nor do you have a blood-drunk eye. I have both of those still, I believe. The Eye of a Blood-Drug Hunter allowed me to access the Hunter's Nightmare via an amygdala. The Tonsil Stone allowed me to access the Menzies Nightmare via an amygdala. A hunter who goes drunk with blood is said to be taken into the nightmare, destined to wander forever, engaged in an endless hunt. It is a fate that no hunter can escape. So we could say that both nightmare paths can be accessed in two different ways at least. The old hunter nightmare can be accessed by consuming too much blood as a hunter, although not as a human. They seem to simply become beasts that hunters hunt. But a hunter can access that nightmare via the consumption of too much blood, or via the possession of a specific item through the brain of an amygdala. The School of Menzies can be accessed via the cage on the head strat, whatever the fuck they're doing, and by the possession of a certain item and an amygdala. The info available in the art book, that big brain is called Brain of Menzies. Not sure if that means it can or cannot be Murgo. The brain of Menzies. Which is what they discovered when they went in, grabbed that fucker and ran off with him. It would still feel to me that the choir had brought it back in and used it as a protection method. As a way to protect their little ritual. But do we slay multiple nightmares? True. It says nightmare slain twice, right? Perhaps the nightmare is a dream world and different people dream different parts of it. Perhaps it is dreamt up by the amygdala. It exists only within their mind, for there are two amygdala that can take us to two different places in what appears to be the same nightmare. But even though there are other ways into the nightmare, they're the bona fide ones. Perhaps this is all the dream of an amygdala. Perhaps they are some giant interconnected beast, and within their framework, within their mental state, exists the nightmare. Then why would they leave then? Oh, there's a lot of juicy stuff in there, huh? God, today feels like an epic conclusion to weeks and weeks of discussion. It's so nice. I think it's pretty heavily implied the baby crying in the carriage that is guarded by the wet nurse is Murgo. A baby taken from the woman we see outside in the dress. Okay, now I'm going to ask. That's why I don't think they're dreams of an individual person, that you can access the same place from different points by different means. I like that, dude, I really do. The amygdala is also a part of the human brain that is used to integrate emotions, emotional behavior, and motivation, right? It's very interesting. The amygdala's heads sort of look like Menzies' cage helm. I don't see any relation between the two, do they? What about an amygdala's head looks like the cage? Three Dog, do you know any information from the Chalice dungeons that would get you further to the idea that the baby is Murgo? Because I'm not seeing that leap yet. Also, every Great One has a very obvious name, except the brain, which is confirmed to be a Great One, but doesn't have a name. I'm loving it, Ricky. It's all coming together now, mate. The holes. But there are no holes in the cage. Just squares, right? But that's because it's caged. A rotten Great One. That's interesting too. What does a rotten Great One mean? A man-made Great One? No, because it specifically says that they found it in the nightmare and retrieved it, and that it was rotten. They didn't say that it got rotten once they retrieved it, because that would be interesting. But then again, Ebrietis was taken out of the nightmare and didn't rot. It'd open up a new can of worms if I told you? Okay. The living string mentions the brain was a Great One, but was rotten. Exactly, yeah. What does rotten mean in this context? Reawaken. I think he meant the Murgo is a man-made Great One. Or otherwise a surrogate for the Great One. Yeah, that's the part I just can't get my head around yet. Okay, we'll have to put that one aside because it's Chalice Dungeon related and I don't know if we're going into the Chalice Dungeons. We may be able to talk about the stuff that happens in the Chalice Dungeons and then in doing so avoid fucking exploring them for the next 2 weeks. If the brain was Murgo, then Murgo's wet nurse might mean a wet nurse created by Murgo to watch over its surrogate child. That's an interesting perspective. The one reborn was man-made. Was that a great one, though? We fight Murgo's wet nurse. The wet nurse takes care of Murgo. We see the wet nurse fly in and guard the baby carriage. The cry is loudest at that point as well. The theme that plays during the fight is called a lullaby for Murgo. All implying that the baby is Murgo. I assume is what you mean. You think it's a failed Great One, dude? The one reborn? As in they attempted to create one and fucked it up? Or rotten ones are failed ones? The Orphan of Cause seems like an artificial Great One. Does it? You thought about doing the chalice dungeons required for the platinum? Do you mean the platinum trophy? Of all the video games that have ever existed, this might be the most obvious example of how ridiculously fucking banal the platinum would be. The platinum? Stick your platinum up your fucking ass. I've got actual narrative here. I've got actual story, world discovery, lore. Fucking platinum fucking participation trophy. Oh, you did all the things. That's great, thank you. Try to take my video games a little more seriously than the fucking trophies. Wait, the trophy might be worth it for the lore, you mean? If Mikolash led the school, and he led the retrieval of the brain, maybe the brain corrupted him and the dream. The platinum trophy is pretty rewarding. No, sticking it up your ass and having an orgasm is pretty rewarding. The platinum trophy is still a piece of shit that attempts to mark the fact that you did some things, just like all other fucking piece of shit fucking trophies for little boys and girls that need to be reminded that they did a thing. For me, it is the memory of this fucking magnificent experience and the memory of piecing it together bit by bit with you guys that I will hold true. That will be my trophy. Right up until the day I fucking die and return to the fucking dust. I need no goddamn trophy to come with me. A meaningful, thought-provoking experience. I can't believe we're talking about trophies. Ugh. Yes, now let me go post about this on Facebook. Oh my god, what a way to just completely annihilate every beautiful feeling I just had. My god. Trophies. Whoop-de fucking do. I need a goddamn fucking trophy. I haven't had to think this hard about a video game in so long. Not even Nier and shit, which was attempting to provide that experience, came anywhere close to the amount that I get to think about and enjoy with this. Is ridiculous. Controlled Chaos, thank you for 10 months in a row, man. This playthrough's been such a fucking blast. Can't wait to watch it from beginning to end. Naga's been keeping all the VODs, so it should be good. I'm just gonna take a quick break, grab a cuppa. And then I don't know. See, I heard that this game has 3 different endings, and that was before the DLC, and I haven't really confirmed that to be the case. When I last played the game, I do remember who I fought, and I do remember why, I think. But I guess this is the point where I'd need to do a quick check. Oh wait, no, I need to go back to the chapel first and kill everybody there. But I should do a check with 3Dog and Callie and Dude and that, if there are things that I still need to do. I may need a little bit of direction here because I'm not really sure how these multiple endings operate and whether or not I've qualified for them, whatever they are. But it does appear that we'll be finishing Bloodborne today, I think. That's quite exciting, isn't it? how I beat the game last time, the quickest, simplest way possible, I imagine. I didn't do any of the side bosses that I know of. Oh, I did Ligarius and stuff at Canehurst. 2 endings are always available, but one requires extra work, implying Chalice Dungeon stuff. Yeah, Death Gun, I may. Not at all related to Chalice Dungeon. Interesting. There's more for sure, is there? Alright, I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll have that conversation. I'm interested. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the tunes. Be right back.
It's flirting with Sunday itself.
Banging tunes. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. I loved it before Trickster. I just didn't love it in anywhere near the same way that I do now. Yeah, Death Gun, from what I know of Lovecraft, for sure. Is that from Killer 7? Is it oh so awesome? Orphan climbs out from Cos. It's said that the Great Ones can't birth children themselves. I don't remember where. That's why they're using humans to do it. But the thing Orphan crawled out of did not look like a human. I'm guessing the Healing Church or another branch changed a human to make it stronger and able to birth a Great One. Which is why I say Orphan seems like an artificial Great One. Well, that would play into the idea that there appeared to be a factory as well. A factory filled with phantasms, slugs, and also with a bunch of crustaceans with women inside of them. And then before Cos, you see hundreds of them crawled out of their shells and praying towards a Great One, which is a common theme. Every time I see kin, they always appear to be focused on a Great One, right? At the Healing Church, at the orphanage, there are a bunch of little weird ones. Oh, that reminds me, there's one extra one that I still don't get. You need to remember that the orphan we see is the orphan that was birthed in the nightmare, not the orphan in reality. That's interesting. Ah! Completely wrong place. Same with Lawrence. His skull is in the real world, and you get his nightmare skull. His skull was actually right there where I just was. So you get his human skull in the nightmare and his beast skull in the real world.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking
Awesome
about.
Potamus, welcome to the Expletives, mate. Thank you very much. Good to have you here, dude. Cheers. After the fight with Murgo's nurse, the body of Gascoigne's wife disappears from the roof. It's a weird connection, plus the music with the lullaby. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Could that have been Gascoigne's wife? Who gave the child? So we found that the whore had moved, covered in blood, down to here. The formless Odin rune and trying to relate it to Murgo and the wet nurse? Okay. Here. Check this out. So again, the theme of the kin pointing to the Great Ones.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking
Siviji,
about.
fuck yeah, baby. Good to see you, mate. Cheers. Thank you very much. The whore was clutching her stomach before she moved. She was in pain. It appears she tried to run away. She gave birth to this? The child is smaller than any of the others you've seen, and it's a bit bloody, right? Like it was recently born. Great ones need a surrogate, right? When the great ones descend, a womb will be blessed with child. But then if we were to talk about that parallel, then the woman dressed in white, who birthed Murgo, presumably, could be her. No worries, Siv. Cheers, baby. Good to see you, mate. Yosefka's double was also in pain at the same time of the whore, and she, just before she died, was finally seeing everything. Look at her legs. Not seeing anything. Maybe a bit darker at the bottom there, like the red. That's the nightmare. We're currently awake in the real... Yeah, no, but apparently everything that happens in the nightmare is somehow paralleled in the real world. Breedog was just explaining that before. You need to remember that the orphan we see is the orphan that was birthed in the nightmare, not the orphan in reality. Same with Maria and everything else we see in the Hunter's Nightmare. Might want to read the Formless Odin rune. There. The Great One Odin. I hadn't even put that together, that Odin was a great one as well. Who the fuck was Odin? There are connections to be made between that woman in the dress and Ariana in Chalice Dungeon lore. Holy shit. Murgo was offspring of Odin since it's formless, invisible, just like the wet nurse. Is it? Oh, wow. Jesus. The Great One Odin lacking form exists only in voice and is symbolized by this rune. Those who memorize it, blah, blah, blah. Human or no, the oozing blood is a medium of the highest grade and the essence of the formless Great One Odin. Both Odin and his inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously seek precious blood. Formless, voice only. Invisible great ones. so much more to dig into. So many things you need to read for the 30th time before it ever makes any sense. The last part about the blood, too. It specifically said that he had followers that had not chosen to be followers, right? Inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously seek the precious blood. Could that be the tie-in for the entire Beast narrative? For the entire Hunter narrative in its entirety? Odin was the first Great One to make contact with the humans, and as a result, inadvertently, led them to the discovery of blood, and the worship of blood, and the power of blood, which eventually, at Canehurst, is when the royal family started sending their knights out to bring them blood, which is when the scourge of blood began and the vile blood began. Bear that line in mind, now kill everyone in this area. Oh. Ah, there we go. God, I got to see her face for the briefest second then. I want to compare that to the portrait in Canehurst. I think it's her. Ariana's shoes. She was worn by Ariana, woman of the night, in the cathedral ward. Innocent and cute. In contrast with its owner. Everyone else you can lay eyes on? A curious word choice. The fourth, third umbilical cord. Every infant Great One has this precursor to the umbilical cord. Every Great One loses its child and then yearns for a surrogate. And Odin, the formless Great One, is no different. To think it was corrupted blood that began this eldritch liaison. Blood echoes? I'm not sure. Odin making babies. I think Odin may have been the precipitator of the entire narrative. That somehow Odin came in contact with the human world and discovered that it was via humans that a child could be born. And that humans were required in order to do so. And it was because of Odin that they began to seek blood. And that the beast scourge began, and the vile blood scourge began, which appear to me to be very different types of blood disease, blood scourge, vile blood versus the beast. Messed with the milkweed rune? Not much. Not in any significant way. Odin is the father of the first Great One? I think he is the first Great One. If he's formless, could he not have been worshipped like a god? Sure. Yeah, Crim, I'm looking forward to it. Interesting, Matthias. Probably not, unit. Definitely not feeling the Chalice dungeons. God damn, that's the way that story ends. Fuck me. You get the word liaison, which tells us that the corrupted blood was necessary for Odin to have relations with human women. You get all that from the word liaison?
Was it a beast?
You think that's referring to Lawrence? I thought it was referring to Willem.
Ah, your lies spin a web, but I see through your deceit. Ah, your lies.
They produce more blood than alcohol, as the former is more intoxicating. A little bit, Black Science. Theories on who wrote that note? I don't really have any. Go down! Fucking Jesus, make me out to be the bad guy here. Odin Rye. A carol rune that transcribes inhuman sounds. Writhe sees a subtle mucus in the warmth of blood and acknowledges visceral attacks as one of the darker hunter techniques. Human or no, the oozing blood is a medium of the highest grade, and the essence of the formless Great One, Odin. Both Odin and his inadvertent worshippers surreptitiously seek the precious blood. A medium. The oozing blood is a medium. A connection between the humans and between Odin. That's interesting, Rio. Via the old blood. Huh. Via Odin. I think it was a fair inference to make based on the information we have. The text on the formless Odin rune implies corrupted blood was a medium through which Odin could carry out his liaison. Does it? Perhaps the heir is a hunter who bears the echoing will of those before him? looked to beings from higher planes for guidance. I imagine that was Rom. When Ludwig closed his eyes, he saw darkness, or perhaps nothingness. And that is where he discovered the tiny beings of light.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
The Wacko! Welcome to the Experters, mate. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying the show. It was the umbilical cord that had the liaison part. Need to read that again. To think it was corrupted blood that began this eldritch liaison. Liaison in this context doesn't apply sex or mating to me. It implies contact between the humans and the Great Ones. That it was through blood and the corruption of blood that they first made contact. But then it would appear afterwards they found additional ways to make contact with other Great Ones, not Odin. Rom would be the first, I imagine, that Willem discovered. And then that may have been the precipitating factor as to why the Healing Church split away, because what they saw they didn't like. And then the School of Menzies, who definitely still worked with Willem because Damien of Menzies was protecting Willem. Made contact with another Great One, a rotten Great One, the Brain, whose name we don't know. I think it implies mating because Ariana had a freaky alien child. I think there are many other ways to put a freaky alien child into somebody. You get this cord specifically after killing the baby Great One, yeah? That means that there were a lot of other baby Great Ones that didn't leave cords, by the way. All up in the orphanage. Odin being no different from the other Great Ones, who loses a child and yearns for another. Any details on who Rom is yet? Not that I know of, to be honest. The Bergenworth skulls were afraid of contacting with the corrupted blood, fear the old blood, so they decided to grow eyes on the inside to find a different way to contact the Great Ones. That's what it seems to be, yeah. They found multiple paths to the same point. But the wet nurse's body is formless, if you will. My theory is that the wet nurse is a portion of Odin manipulating the cloth and solid bits. Interesting. Fake Yosefka dropped a cord, yeah, and she's from the choir. She looked like she was in pain. Maybe she had been impregnated as well. I have not read The Pale Blood Hunt, no. Take on somebody else's perspective on an interpretation of events that I have not yet created my own would be to deny myself the interpretation of events, and doing so, the more meaningful part of this experience, I think. An archaic Gothic meaning of liaison is a sexual encounter. It does make sense given the heavy emphasis on childbirth and pregnancy throughout the game. It's interesting. I'm not sure, Mage Guy. Interesting, Bray. They are. The theory is that Rom was human, a scholar of Willem, and she was an experiment. No clue where this thought process comes in, though. That is interesting, because it does appear to me that they began attempting to contact Great Ones, and they did so within the Labyrinth and within the Nightmare. But it would appear that they stopped wanting to contact them at some point and started wanting to make them. Perhaps the idea of a human ascending and evolving and a Great One having a child are one and the same thing. But there are so many other questions. Like, who killed Granny? Poor Granny. She might still be alive, actually. We should probably just in case. You know, you don't want to... No, she's dead. All right. And what are you? And why are you here? And why do you allow connection to the Nightmare? Are these Odin's disciples? Remember that they can't be seen without the requisite insight either. Mikolash talks about Rom being granted eyes. No, I think asking Rom to grant his eyes, right? And he mentions Koz and Cosm as well. The only amygdala outside Yaragul and the Nightmare. No, there's one more. To the right of the Great Cathedral is where you use the Tonsil Stone to access the Nightmare for the first time. That's not in Yaragul, is it? As you once did for the vacuous Rom. Grant his eyes, grant his eyes. Okay. Right. So asking Koz to give us eyes like you had done for Rom. Huh. The entrance to Yaragul. Is that the entrance to Yaragul, is it? I thought that linked back to where the bloodstained beast is. Maybe I'm getting confused. So the entrance of Yaragul. Ah, okay. Interesting. And Yaragul is where they conducted their rituals, right? Because the first time we went to Yaragul, the ritual was being conducted there. You could hear it. Oh. You're not looking very... He won't even talk to me anymore because I've killed them. He knows. And who the fuck are you now that I think about it?
What's that? What?
There's a gatter.
I only wanted to be your friend.
Well, if you were a true friend, you would have given me whatever the fuck you just dropped before I had to kill you for it. Ah. Where did I get the first Formless Odin rune from? Yeah, Three Dog. Everyone in the chapel are inadvertent worship. Everyone in Yharnam are inadvertent worshippers. Everyone in Old Yharnam, everyone in Yaragul, they're all inadvertent worshippers of Odin. Got at the top of this building? Ah. Perhaps it was the cord that changed Rom? The scholars could have found Koz and its orphan, taken its cord, and thus denied the orphan becoming a full Great One? The oozing blood is the essence of Odin? You don't understand that bit? It would appear that Odin, who is formless and only a voice, can contact physically, tangibly, the humans via their blood. The ingestion of that blood by other humans eventually leads to a corrupted version of blood which causes beasts. And it is somehow via that method that Odin is able to then produce a child. Makes you think of menstruation. That's been a common theme as well. Some people were saying that that was debunked, but I don't understand how. The idea that menstrual blood could be more powerful, or a more powerful version of blood, seems rather interesting. Menstruation has obvious links with the moon, yep. Cycles. This goes to Old Yarragul, which I haven't explored completely because I wasn't allowed to kill anything there. Right, dude? That'd be insane. I don't know, Zen. It's not the runes themselves and what they say, much like most of the items in this game. But it is where they are found that is more profound. School of Menzies pretty much means the School of Menstruation. Maybe. Which would be interesting. But it doesn't, to my knowledge, actually mean that. The voice and the blood echo. It could very well be that Odin and the blood echoes are intrinsically connected. How interesting. Yeah, Jackie? Well, enjoy. You're in for a treat. And I heard the Yakuzas are wonderful. I do want to play them. The item Blood Dreg has some juicy lore. Too bad you didn't get any. Blood Echo Insight. Menzies is spelled differently than Menzies. Yeah, that's true too. It would be worth going back to the lecture hall and killing patches. Can do. What is an amygdala's role in all of this? I do not know, other than being surreptitiously placed around Yharnam and Yarragul, cannot be seen without requisite eyes on the inside, implying that they have always been there, or been there for a long time, and could only be seen once the eyes had been attained. And the biggest connection is that two amygdala we know of both possess the power to access the nightmare and to take you to it. That's the biggest question that I've got. Because while there are two main ways to the nightmare that we know of, which is consume enough blood, let's call that the Odin path into the hunter's nightmare, or be a member of the School of Menzies, and whatever the fuck they do with the caged heads, they've obviously found a way into the nightmare. Could be the same nightmare, but definitely a different place in the nightmare. Those are the two ways into the nightmare that we know of. There are also two amygdala that both lead into each of them. So it might be that the first path into them was through the amygdala, but again, my theory would be that the nightmare exists within the amygdala, that they are the host of the nightmare. Mikolash thought that he was the host of that nightmare, but wasn't, as evidenced by the nightmare continuing to exist once he had left the nightmare and woken up to find that he had already been killed and didn't wake up. I imagine he had gone in and woken up and forgotten everything many, many times over, but this time, he was dead. My theory would be that the amygdala are the hosts, and that they are not individual beings as they appear, but connected to one concept, to one being, one mind, one sky, one cosmos. And it is within that world, their world, within them, that the nightmare truly exists. And that we have found other ways to tap into it, but the easiest way to tap into it is to have an amygdala pick you up and squeeze you.
This is a most pleasing encounter. You see, I must depart ere long. My god is lost to me, so I must away to find another.
Which god?
If the fates are kind, our paths may cross again. Sooner still, if you were to take the leap.
The leap? The tonsil stone and the blood drunk eye. Those are the two items required to get to different parts of the nightmare via different amygdala. You never heard that dialogue?
I think not of poor Amygdala. Upon that piteous bastard you bestowed salvation. All's well that ends well.
So we found one amygdala inside the nightmare. Upon that poor bastard, we bestowed salvation. Did we release an amygdala from the nightmare? And if so, what was the implication of that? The amygdala are servants of Odin? That would be my best guess. The amygdala are there because Odin is there, and they follow Odin. And they create the nightmare. Because Odin, maybe they are Odin, combined with the world that they create, the network, the hive that they are. Odin is within. Odin exists within that frame. Or perhaps it's the opposite. The way for Odin to have left whichever world he comes from, let's say Odin comes from the nightmare, or beyond the nightmare, and that the nightmare is a way to connect the two worlds together. Think of it maybe like this. Heaven, hell, and earth. So if earth were in the middle and heaven were here and hell were here, they overlap over the same plane. Or, what's the other one? Purgatory. So if there's the cosmos and earth, then the nightmare exists between the two. It is the tangible medium between the two. Odin's found a way to come through, but in doing so has created a gate back. Oh, I don't know, man. You could go so many different fucking paths with this. If you come here after killing the amygdala, he has different dialogue. What do you mean after killing amygdala? I have killed amygdala, right? And I did talk to him after killing the amygdala many times. He just started repeating, this has happened after something else happened.
So you're the one that the boss keeps
After
talking
Menzies,
about.
that's what it would be, yeah. Rio, welcome to the Expletives. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers. Good to have you here. Hope you're enjoying the show. Was his god Murgo the wet nurse? There were a bunch of spiders in. That's a good point. And there were also a bunch of him. Little peeves. I keep calling them peeves. Little patches up in the attics, remember? Odin is still formless and just a voice, but speaks to people's consciousness through the amygdala, uses them. Oh, so much. That is interesting now. Pal, yeah, what ATC said before with the holes in the cage and the holes in the head. That's interesting to say the least. This game is brilliant as you start as a clueless hunter fighting monsters and werewolves, but by playing the game you become the Eldritch Truth and start going mad finding conclusions. And of course knowing even more, dude, that there are no conclusions. Only your conclusions. And that even if you play through this game 100 times, it may be on the 101st time that you see something you had already seen 100 times before, but it changes the way in which you perceive what is happening on a fundamental level, because it is interpretive. It could be any of these. Yeah, I keep calling patches peeve, I don't know why, they just remind me of each other. You need to read more Lovecraft to better understand the concept of Bloodborne. That's interesting. Fuck yeah, dude. That's why this is my game of the year for 2017. Because even though it's my second run, it's still the most profoundly impactful game that I played this year. Unbelievable. You can see Murgo's loft from the Nightmare Frontier. It may give you a better sense of direction. Oh yeah. When we were in the Nightmare Frontier, we were looking at stuff in the distance and going, what was that? What is that? Maybe that was Murgo's loft. I'm still just confused that it's called Murgo's loft. That seems odd to me. Aileen's story. I never got to finish her story, unfortunately. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good, you know. It's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it. Lines like that have so much more power now. Good on you, Guth. I highly recommend it. I didn't mean to, Ryo. It was a bug, almost. I just ended in an area where she was fighting someone else, and then I went out, and then I came back in, and she was still fighting, and I tried to protect her, but she got killed. No one could have predicted it, unfortunately. Okay, what this game is about? Yeah, you need to figure out that for yourself. That's the whole point. There's good shit in the Child's Dungeon. I know, I just don't want to grind through them for fucking 2 weeks. To get to it, you know?
I think not of poor Amygdala. Upon that piteous bastard you bestowed salvation. That was uncharitably done. That was uncharitably done, dear friend.
Interesting. I believe the implication there would be that he evolved. Uncharitably done, right? It's beautiful. Should humans pursue greatness and insight to leave behind their humanity, imbibe the blood to embrace their beastly nature, or remain oblivious to it all? What a question, huh? 3 equally interesting paths. All in their own way. Oh my god, they sell rocks for 60? Gotta buy one of them. I never switched my runes back, I don't think. Ha! Whoops. I still have the frenzy rune on when I took on Murgo. Gotta fix that. Yeah, pal, I'm interested in that. That's the next step, I think. Hey, Ren, how are you, mate? Cheers, dude. Thanks for the tip. So many little stories, man. Hundreds of characters, each of them people. They feel less like any character in any game you've ever played before because they're not positioned in that way. And yet once you know their stories, what they were doing, what they believed in this crazy mess of a world and why, what they chose to hold dear, what they chose to stick with as their truth, and how they guarded their secrets and their mistakes, you find that they are in fact more powerful than any other character you've found in any other game that was delivered to you in a normal narrative in the way that you were supposed to. These were all protagonists of their own journeys. They all had antagonists trying to stop them from achieving whatever it is they wanted to achieve or undo. It's just, Consume those chords before you visit Gurman. That's a good point. Is there anything else that I need to do first? I will consume the chords. I wonder then if that's how the second ending is accomplished. You need to eat all the cords. If you want parallel, sure. I prefer that they watch on Twitch, obviously, though, because it supports me, but, sure. You good now, yeah? Yeah, I heard that too, Finn. Simon was great, right? Love his little stories. So then we need to eat all 4 of the umbilical cords. Is enough. I'm gonna eat 4 anyway. You only need 3. I'm gonna eat him anyway. Yum, yum, yum. Fine by eating them all, cool. I did earn them. Not sure, Prior. Interesting, pal. I like that.
Gammon awaits you. And go. Very well. Let the echoes become your... Let me stand...
Through the chalice as the next run and getting a little bit more information that way seems like the best idea to me.
Good hunter. Your presence somehow soothes. I sense the ancient echoes. They course your veins. Good hunter. Farewell, good hunter.
Doing a new game plus run the next time around? Maybe. The problem is the next time around will be years from now, and I would need to continue playing from a file that has already re-begun. That's the problem with the new game plus. That said, I don't believe new game plus adds anything to the game, right? Very pale blood, I'll find that anyway, fair enough. Shoving the eyes in there, got to, mate. I didn't get to 60, unfortunately. I was really hoping I would. Well, I mean, if that's everything outside the Chalice dungeons and Eileen's narrative, which we couldn't do, then I don't see any reason why we wouldn't move forward. What level did I get to? 93. I'm not entirely sure how this ending will be different to the previous one that I got. I'm not entirely sure if I remember the previous one, but you still have less than 60 insight. I know, yeah. I used everything I could. Is there some reason to still have 60 insight now? Other than my own want to always have it? Did you use the new blood rock? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did. Plus 10, Rakuyo, Evelyn, and Raitapalash. Lumen Wood feels bad. I don't know what you're trying to say with that. Have I missed something to do with the Lumen Wood? There are some items you might need to access the Chalice dungeons, yeah. Is it the same as the new music box tensor? It didn't sound the same to me. He'll get insight when he fights the boss. Ah, cool. I did change my runes, yep. The Confederate guy? Oh no, he was. I remember him. Yeah, no, I didn't kill him. Am I supposed to? An interaction between the Cos Parasite and the Milkweed Room. Right, yeah, but I can't do that because I don't have enough arcane to equip the Cos Parasite. Go and kill Volta? Alright. How much do I need to donate for squats? I don't even know what squats are, so I wouldn't donate anything if I was you. You spoiling shit, Unclean Outlast? Hmm? Why would you do that? Wait, this isn't the right place. Maybe in 3 more years we get an arcade build run. I imagine that's what I would focus on next time, Kill, yeah. Use a vermin before speaking with Volta? Okay. Jura's still alive as well. Jura. I remember the name, I can't remember who he is. Kill Volta. No, Volter. I did find Alfred, yeah. It's alright, Outlast. No worries, baby. Just be careful. I have done it before. At least I've done one of the endings. I assume we're getting another ending this time. Ah, the machine gun guy. Right. I remember him, yeah.
Very good. You've crushed some vermin. I'm the master of the league. I can see it in your eyes.
It's been too
I'm pleased.
long.
This makes you a true fellow of the league. A confederate. Now, take this stuff. A symbol of our oath. Of our blood-drenched fate.
The League staff. Thanks, Lesbo, mate. Cheers. Stream is like prescription medication for bad feels. Thanks for the good stuff. My pleasure, mate. Thank you for watching. League staff.
You'll be welcomed as a true confederate. Go forth with renewed vigor. In short time, you will see how the mission takes hold of one's spirits.
The staff's not a weapon? Oh, there it is. The League staff is the sign of a Confederate. A directory within the hilt lists the names of fellow Confederates. Members of the League brandish this staff to indicate themselves to fellow members of the League. There shall be no sympathy for those engaged in the bloody mission of the League, no matter that an oath has been taken to uphold the illusion. God damn. A lot of fucking vermin. Sorry, mate.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
How quaint.
Oh.
You scoff at the League. Then you are your
Winobot, thanks, baby. Cheers, mate.
a defiled mess of rotten flesh. When you are dead, your rank blood will curdle with
Fuck off.
vermin. Vermin writhe and squirm.
God damn it! cunt subbing during this shit for, huh? We sit around talking for 25 minutes, you can't sub. Nah, as soon as the fucking fight starts, though, I'm gonna get into it. Fucking Jesus, fucking Christ. Cornered me hard, I couldn't get anywhere. Where are you, cunt? Come here. If that camera doesn't settle the fuck down, I'm gonna break it. That whirligig saw though. That's what I was looking for. Oh my god, he's got a lot of health. Rakuyo! God damn! This motherfucker.
My time is done. Glory to my League Confederates.
That's what you get, motherfucker. Oh, the one-eyed Iron Helm. An iron helm resembling an upside-down bucket. A single hole allows one to peek out with a single eye, which is probably all that its original owner had. Bit Dead Kelly, huh? Yeah. It's like a folk hero in Australia.
The one that the boss
Or
keeps
villain.
talking about.
Kinetic Effect. Thank you very much, man. Welcome to the expletives. Cheers. Rip Lord Buckethead. Indeed.
So you're the one that the boss keeps talking
Out
about.
there, welcome to the expletives. Thanks, guys. Fucking cheers. Appreciate the support. Who are you? Whoa! The fuck did you just... The Madaris whistle. I imagine that summons the snake thingy. There it is. Summon a giant serpent from the nightmare. Whistle of the Madaris twins, denizens of the Forbidden Woods. The twins grew up alongside a poisonous snake and developed a silent, inhuman kinship. The poisonous snake grew uncontrollably, raised on a healthy diet of beast entrails. Even after their deaths, it is said to respond to the call of the twins' whistle from within the nightmare. Hey! Some bitch! I'm your master now. How cool is that? The wording here is interesting. From within the nightmare. It is said to respond to the call of the twins' whistle from within the nightmare. That's ambiguous. Is the snake within the nightmare and responding to the call? Or are you within the nightmare? Because that would imply that we are still in the nightmare, and what we think is the world is actually still a part of the nightmare. The dream within a dream sort of deal. It's a reach, but it's interesting. The snake within the nightmare, yeah, that makes more sense. Is there anything else that crosses over? Interesting what you find Valtyr's attire and the Materus twin attire in the Hunter's Nightmare. You do. I remember. And that the guy wearing the butcher clothes is definitely Whirligig-Saw guy, but the other guy who's the constable, and there are constable clothes as well, remember? I can get lore on both of those guys right now, actually. Here, the butcher's mask. Mask of the Materus twins, denizens of the Forbidden Woods, likely belonging to the older of the two. They grew up in silent kinship with the poisonous snake. Eventually, they learned human ways and became hunters. When they discovered vermin, even in their beloved snake, the younger brother is said to have murdered the older. Not so far as we know. Still don't know about Doris and Damien, but definitely appears to be a school of Menzies. Interesting. Where's those constable trousers? There they are. Once upon a time, a troop of foreign constables chased
It's been
inhuman monolith. Think about 8 months, mate. Cheers, dude. Glad you're enjoying them. Thank you. There is a theory going that route. I remember when the what the Blood Minister says. You may think it all a mere bad dream. Yeah. Once upon a time, a troop of foreign constables chased the beast all the way to Yharnam. And this is what they wore. The constables became victims of the beast, except for one survivor, who in turn devoured the creature whole, all by himself. This fable is a favorite among Yharnamites, who are partial to any stories of pompous, intolerant foreigners who suffer for their ignorance. It makes the blood taste that much sweeter. How interesting. Makes me wonder about Paul as well. Who is Paul? No, DJ, no, we're not allowed to spoil things now. But we are pointing to things now. Your starting attire description says clothes worn by awakening to the nightmare? Really? Do I still have those clothes? I may have got rid of them. I think I did. You were a foreigner too? Not to my knowledge. We woke up in Yosefka's, right? We aren't from Yharnam.
Brother, it's been too long.
Yell hair, they give it 2 months, mate. If the clothes you were wearing Imral Alf had a description, what would they say? They would say, don't annoy me with dumb fuck questions when I'm in the middle of really enjoyable games, particularly at their conclusion and trying to put all the pieces together. I picked this particular ensemble for that exact reason. I'm glad you clued onto it. Don't even start me, mate. Pile's down there. What is the significance of Pile then? You're a foreigner according to the starting set. Okay. I love the blood damage I'm copping these days. So good. Big fucking question mark on this whole section, huh? The doctor calls you an outsider. Every Yharnam citizen you speak to calls you an outsider and don't like you because of that. His starting attire is called the foreign set, and Gilbert asks, calls you a fellow outsider. Okay. So all of those reasons definitely, yeah, point into the direction that we are not from Yharnam. I like it. Then where, I wonder, do we hail from? Is that? Hey! Thought you could get away. I knew I'd come back for you eventually. God damn, we're fucking bitches up now. I love it. Right, Rhea. There was definitely a place here I never got to explore. I think it was in here. Yeah.
You devious rat. The makings of a true hunter. Very well. Then there's no need to hold back.
Is that Jura?
Brother, it's been too long.
Crikey, thank you for 20 months in a row. Cheers, mate. Jura's pissed, huh? Because I broke my word. Oh, shush you. What's that? Something seedy was going on in here, huh? Never heard that before, yep. That'd be because I snuck up on Jura, agreed not to kill anybody in here. I like that he had a little bit of a, you're a hunter vibe about it. That's what they do. Looks like the blood-starved beast, but it's not. I wonder what the backstory behind the blood-starved beast is then. Perhaps they go fucking crazy if they are blood-starved. And then needed to be bound or something? Interesting to say the least. Gotta go find Jura. If you never kill a beast, he doesn't attack you. Don't kill him. You can kill beasts up until what you need to do is sneak up behind him, and then you can go talk to him. And then from that point, don't kill any more beasts, and he won't shoot you. Now I'm murdering the lot. Yeah, to piece together the last pieces of the narrative. It's fine. It all resets anyway. Yeah, they all know that none of this matters, right? It's just a dream. How did I know that? I didn't know that. That was given to me. Because it's missable information. The rule for this play was blind, but if there's anything that was missable, then I had a few people looking after me to let me know. Because some stuff, after you do one thing, that thing doesn't exist anymore. And I didn't want to miss that sort of stuff because, well...
Is it the plan, or are you just waiting? When the frail of heart join the fray, the hunter becomes the
That's how you get that weapon as well, the stake driver, I believe.
It's you. You're the beast. Just think about what you're doing. It's utter madness.
They'll forget everything when they wake up, exactly. Think about what you're doing, it's utter madness. Basically, he's protecting the beasts of Old Yharnam because he knows that once the night ends, they'll become human again and doesn't want them killed. Where's the badge? You don't get the badge because he gave me the weapon earlier. You're the beast, yeah. Not the most profound narrative in this game at all. That the one killing the beast is actually the beast. But, still very interesting. If Aileen fights you, sometimes her dialogue after finishing you off is say hello to the doll for me? Implying that she was one of Gurmi's hunters? Once upon a time? That's quite interesting. There are a few items here. I can't imagine any of them significant, but I'm going to grab them anyway. Cold blood dew. Unless there's some reason to collect them all. I've got every fucking other thing in the game. I don't need them, right? The hunter at the end of Eileen's quest fucked my shit up for a while. Yeah, I didn't get to do that bit, unfortunately. Next time. She's a hunter who states she no longer dreams and can no longer return to the hunter's dream. She never states why she can't go back or why she stopped dreaming. Interesting. Have you looked closely at what the winter lanterns wear? I've been told that they wear the same gowns as the dolls, which I find very interesting. Eileen and Jura both have dialogue that say they were part of the hunter's dream before, and then eventually they couldn't go back. Interesting. Oh, really? Unclean. Cool. Check your inside shop. What, after killing Jura, you mean? Wow. The Grey Wolf Cap. Attire of the retired hunter Jura. This worn cap was the lone wolf's trademark. Jura is known through his contact with the powder kegs, the heretics of the workshop. He is said to have been both uncommonly kind and dreadfully foolish. Jura felt defeated by the state of Old Yharnam and renounced his hunter's vows. Painted with ash in a ceremony to ward off blood. Ash instead of blood. Dark Souls 3 had a very heavy ash narrative. How cool. How very, very fucking cool. Oh, really, Callie? I missed that. Okay. That's a shame. If you hadn't killed Brador, I can't remember if it's worth it, but we're killing everyone now. He still lives. I did kill Brador and got his wicked weapon. Now read Antidote Law. Used to treat ashen blood. The baffling sickness that ravaged old Yharnam long ago. So in this game, poison is actually ashen blood. And that's... whoa. Did you, Callie? Okay, this is interesting. So, Odin, the formless god, the Great One, a being that can be heard but cannot be seen, that is not tangible, somehow discovers humans, the human plane, the human world from the nightmare and comes through. Starts influencing the people there, influencing them by basically telling them to drink blood. And the more drunk blood they drink, the more they realize how much they enjoy the blood. That the blood-starved beast, exactly. So then, after imbibing too much blood, they suddenly realize that they've contracted a disease, ashen blood, and that it's starting to kill them. They devise a way to cure it. This is old Yharnam, long ago. Later, that evolves into another disease, the Beastly Scourge. The nobles at Canehurst Castle keep the beasts away with their regiment of knights, bringing them back blood so they can continue imbibing. It's more powerful than alcohol to them, they love it. Eventually, that develops into another type of disease, blood disease, vile blood. That's when the Healing Church jumps in. The Healing Church obviously kill beasts, and in doing so, many of their members end up going to the Nightmare, because by imbibing enough blood echoes, which is interesting too, isn't it? Because that connects again to the Nightmare and connects to Odin coming from the Nightmare. I wonder if Odin isn't in the Nightmare, nor is he in this world, but he is the Nightmare. And he sends the amygdala through to this world as a way to maintain contact. Anyway, that's very interesting that there were progressions of blood disease, ending with vile blood to the best of our knowledge. Right, Callie, it's unreal, man. Absolutely unreal. Using emotes in front of the doll triggers reactions? Really? Cool. If he is the Nightmare, then the amygdala being his servants would make even more sense, right? Interesting if you consider the Nightmare slain text when you kill two of the bosses. Well, vile blood was one of the first. Alfred says, what vile blood was born? When Bergenworth's scholars took the sacred blood back to the castle. What? Wait, why does that mean that it was one of the first and not ashen blood? Some people think the doll is a great one. Very unlikely. Unless you mean this doll. We know Odin is a being. We know he's a great one. We know there are many different types of great ones, and they all look different, but he is a formless great one. This is the abandoned workshop. This is the same place, but within the world, not within the dream. But yeah, this is the original doll by the look of it. And you can see its finger moving. Why does the doll have the ability to channel blood echoes and make you stronger? I imagine because that's how Gurman designed it to be. It would appear that Gurman designed the doll to look like Maria because he was infatuated by her. The doll says something after you kill Maria, yep. Feels like it's woken up or something. Any thoughts onto why you find one of the cords here in the workshop's altar? I guess it's Gurman's. Can I mention something about the doll in the dream? I don't know, do I? How am I supposed to answer that question, bud? Without knowing what you wish to mention. Interesting, Ricky. Gurman may have designed the doll, but would he have had the power to give it life? Maybe not. Maybe that was, yeah, his way of bringing her to life was making her a great one, I guess. Birthing her or something. The great ones need a surrogate. What if the doll served as a surrogate? So he, instead of trying to use a baby, attempted to find a way to achieve the same goal by using a doll, by using, you know, something inanimate. I did perform. That was the first one I performed. Notch is hosting me? Probably. Why? Notch and I are friends. It makes sense. Yeah, Coco, well, it's not just sitting there. It's sitting there in a very key location. I'm not sure, Ricky. That's interesting, though. I guess so, Seth. The ailing Loris chalice, dropped by the amygdala. Chalice that breaks the labyrinth seal. Loran is a tragic land that was devoured by the sands. The tragedy that struck this ailing land of Loran is said to have its roots in the scourge of the beast. That's right, Loran. I forgot about Loran altogether. Some have made the dreaded extrapolation that Yharnam may be next. What if the nightmare was once the world of Loran? Devoured by the sands, forgotten by time, this all happened before. And then later, somehow brought to Yharnam from Loran. I guess the implication could be that we are from Loran as well. Interesting. God, there are so many different little pieces of information that all make you think in a different direction. It is spectacular. Amygdalan's arm? Sure. The arm of a small amygdala great one. Strictly speaking, blah blah. I guess it's interesting that it says amygdala great one. Implying that all amygdala are great ones as well. That is a common theory. Loran's silver beasts all over the Nightmare Frontier add to that. Interesting. So much lore in the dungeons. Yeah? I haven't killed the doll yet, no. But I'm not going to. Oh, fuck it. That's interesting in and of itself, isn't it? Did you notice her blood? I didn't know. Was it white blood? Now leave and go back? God, why? Implying that she's kin? Well, so far as I can tell, all of the crustaceans in the big crustacean lab and the ones praying to Kos and Kos herself appear to have a very similar face to both Maria and the doll. I wonder if killing the Orphan of Kos and providing Gurman some peace was not that the nightmare ended, but that Kos ended.
Hello, Honorable Hunter, and I will channel you will hunt beasts to embolden your sickly spirit.
So she just says the same thing from the beginning, as if it's the first time you've met?
Farewell, good hunter.
The thing that plagued him and Maria, what they did and found. Perhaps they created Kos. It's pure white, unlike anything else in the game. Interesting. Pure white blood. Did you see that Kos has a human face? More than that. It appeared to be the same face as Maria and the doll to me. And the same face as all of the crustaceans up to that point. You had to kill the shadowy creature after killing Orphan of Kos to slay the nightmare. That's actually really interesting. I hadn't thought about that. The amount of dolls located in the old workshop? Yeah. There's many of them. There are also many crusty Asians.
Hello, good hunter. I am a doll, here in this dream to look after you. Honorable hunter, pursue the echoes of blood, and I will channel them into your strength. You will hunt beasts, and I will be here for you to embolden your sickly spirit. Farewell, good hunter.
See, we believe this is Kos. And from Kos came an orphan. Kind of sad now how the doll has forgotten everything. Everyone forgets everything there, right? You see here? They remind me so much of Maria as well. They did the first time I saw them. Maria and the doll. There are hundreds of them. Sweet child of Kos returned to the ocean, right? And then that is Kos. And it was Kos that gave Rom eyes. Have they been attempting to recreate Kos? You hardly see any resemblance, really? If Kos granted Rom eyes, then what happened to the fishing hamlet? Did the fishers find a dead Kos on the shore, or was Kos killed and left on the beach? At what point did they make contact with Kos? Is it Kos or Kos' surrogate? Just a lot of fucking questions, isn't there? Check this joint out, though. The one reborn and Orphan of Kos look a lot alike. The carcass of Kos washed up on the shore, so it was probably dead when it arrived. I don't think Orphan looks anything like the one reborn. Without any additional information, that is an odd statement. The presence of snakes? Yeah, that's interesting too, huh? Have you heard about the Queen? Queen Annalise of the Vilebloods? Canehurst? Get in context, motherfuckers. When speaking to other people in this world, remember that they are in fact other people, and not you. Oh, for the love of God, really? Fuck it. Anyway, there's a lot of crusty Asians in there that all look the same. The altar that lifts you into the research hall has some heavy symbolism. Also the fact that it lifts you up into the hall, that's interesting too, yeah. Ah, there's just too much, huh? Overwhelming. I can't spoil with context, well then that's the whole point, right? I don't know what you're asking me for. I don't understand. Obviously, you can't ask me if you can spoil, because I would need to know what it is you're trying to spoil before I can answer your question, which would circumvent the entire reason why you can't talk about it. Alright? This is rad. But I think we're almost done. I'm not entirely sure what has precipitated the next ending that I'm supposed to be getting. And whether or not there's another ending after that. There's obviously a lot of lore in the Chalice dungeons and such as well, which would appear we'll be saving for another playthrough. The only other way to do it would be to start working through the Chalice dungeons now, and that will be chorish and boring as fuck. I've been through them before, and they're garbage. What did you use your blood rock on? I used the first one on the Rider Palash, the second one on the Rakuyo, and then I purchased one for 60 insight and used it on the Evelyn. Have you put thought towards whose nightmare the DLC takes place in? Well, I thought it was Gurmi's, but now I'm of the impression that it is all part of the same nightmare. The one nightmare. And that nightmare might in fact be Odin himself. Or at the very least conceived of by Odin. Or at the very least, that's where Odin came from. But I haven't figured that bit out yet. Thanks, Groud. Cheers, mate. The pillars in the Hunter's Dream are alternate universes. That's interesting as well. There's a lot of them. Yeah, exactly, pal. That's the big problem with the Chalice dungeons. They're pretty much the exact same thing over and over again. And look, Three Dogs said it best. Next time we play Bloodborne, that'll probably be a couple of years from now, realistically. But the next time we play it, I will have forgotten a lot of the stuff that we're thinking about now, and piecing it all together will be awesome again, as it always is. Same reason we play Metal Gear every year. That said, next time, we'll do the Chalice dungeons alongside the game. So every day, maybe spend the last couple of hours of a show, or the first couple of hours of a show, just doing some Chalice dungeon shit, and then continuing Bloodborne. And we'll also focus on an arcane build rather than the blood or the skill build that we've been going for this time. Chalice is a fun co-op. Yeah, so is masturbating. But I still do it solo most of the time. It depends on the circumstances, you know? Also doesn't change the fact that they're shit. Like, they're just shit, right? Hallways with enemies and bosses. Take every single thing you love about Bloodborne. The Chalice dungeons are not that. They are the opposite of that, right? Give me a few minutes, I'll grab another cuppa, and then we'll... I thought we were going to go straight to the boss after last time, but we ended up finding fucking shitloads more awesome stuff to do. Let's, take a quick break and then actually finish the game. Again, I'm not sure how this ending will differ from the last one. I don't know what to expect. The last bit of blindness in this playthrough, I think. Might be the last bit of this playthrough for all I know. Should be fun. Enjoy the tunes. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Sorry about that. A bit longer than I expected. Had to hang out with the kid. Alright. It's time, I think. Time to finish Bloodborne. Been a month in the running, I think. Oh, that'd be amazing, Moonhelm. I fucking love Friendly Geordies. I have to go see one of his live shows someday. Absolutely love his work. Only way to know what ending he had is to check his trophy list. Do I even have a trophy list? There it is. Acquire all old hunter's weapons? I haven't... Oh, right, I just have to buy them all, right? Spoiler alert. For anybody who hasn't finished the game yet. The last time I finished this game, I fought and defeated Father Gascon. He was the final beast. I can't remember the implications of it, why it happened. It was at the top, but don't look at it. Looks like you didn't get an ending at all. I won't look at it. Keep what's coming fresh for your memory, alright. Let's do it. Let's fucking see this thing through. Oh, I'm thinking of... Oh, sorry. I was getting German and Gascoigne confused. Oh. Never mind. It's the first boss, yeah. Sorry, I completely fucked that. Spoiler alert. The last time I finished this game, I came here and fought Father Gascoigne. Do not submit, okay. I don't remember what I did last time. I guess I submitted. Did I say it backwards again? I give up.
Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream.
Do not submit.
Dear, oh dear. What was it? The hunt? The blood? Or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
Gammon, the first hunter. With his little peg leg. Whoa! Jesus Christ, Kirby, calm down. All's well. Whoa! Whoa! You're a quick little fucker, aren't ya? Got a lot of health, too. Oh! Ah!
You must accept your death.
I refuse! Some bitch. I definitely fought him last time. Perhaps I refused last time as well? And accepting is one ending? Refusing is a second ending? And I guess refusing and imbibing of 3 umbilical cords is the third ending. Been amazing, Mana. A day I won't soon forget. So then I never got the first ending. I last time got the second ending. And now we're going for the third. Whoa! Quick fucker. Back to the rider, Palash boys. God damn! I get that too, Rag. Definitely very MGS3 inspired with the flowery field for the final boss. I love it. Right, ATC. He's a lot fucking harder than the previous boss. Come here, Gurmy. Give me that juicy blood. One more! God damn, you're cool, man. Jesus, big hits. It's gotta be a Shit! Oh! What? Presents? It tried to consume me, but it couldn't. That must be the umbilical cords. Fuck! Yeah, I got spins too, bitch. Oh. Yeah, this guy's not fucking around. Whoa! I was supposed to heal on him. Fuck! I get it. Fuck! Oh, God! No, ah! Oh shit! Ah!
Are you cold? Oh, good hunter.
Thanks for being here for a biz. Thank you all. If I accepted German's request, I would have been reborn with no memory of the events that took place. And began the cycle anew. I've been saving the blood of Adrian for so long. It was great to finally get to use it. If German had defeated me, or I him, the same thing would have happened. But instead, no. If I defeated German, the moon presence would have come down and absorbed me. But because I had the 3 umbilical cords, it couldn't. So I defeated it. And became a phantasm. The doll picks me up. Says good hunter. I had eyes on the inside, right? I evolved, ascended, began the path to become a great one, transcended the hunt. Murgo's Lullaby? Or Gascoigne's? Will do. With the trophy. The name that the scholars gave the moon presence was Pale Blood. If you use the music box on Rom, she gets stunned. I still haven't figured out who Rom is. Or was. Seek pale blood to transcend the hunt. The first note, yeah, in the seek the moon presence to transcend the hunt. Rom drops kin blood, so someone who ascended as well. Thanks, Ark. Take it easy, mate. Rom was Wilhelm's child? That's interesting. Yeah, who she was before she became Rom. Because Kos gave Rom eyes. And Wilhelm contacted Kos in some way. A month of Bloodborne comes to an end, Naga. Unbelievable. Thanks for waiting so patiently for so long for this Bloodborne run to actually happen, because we delayed it so many times. For you, the moon presence is an avatar of Odin. That's interesting. My pleasure, Gogo. Thanks for being here for it, mate. As an unknown hunter, you think pale blood is some kind of blood ministration, the secret you don't understand till you read the note in the school. Pale blood, the 3 umbilical cords is pale blood. That's what Lawrence discovered, right?
It's been too long.
Thank you, Nico, for 30 months. Cheers, mate. I know, Naga, I wanted to get that tea out. Interesting that the Queen Yharnam, I'm not sure who that is. Do you mean Annalise, the Vileblood Queen at Canehurst? That note refers to requiring the cords to find the pale blood, right? That's the trick for the final ending, as it were. That makes sense. And that was what Lawrence discovered, right? Lawrence's secret. God damn. Yeah, probably not kill, no. Read 110 fucking page fucking book on this cast, are you crazy? Take me a year.
Good. All signed and sealed. Now, let's begin the transfusion. Oh, don't you worry. Whatever happens, you may think it all a mere bad dream.
You found yourself a hunter.
And there she begins. Same blood vials and bullets I had when I left. You had more lore to read, did I? Oh, you mean the, achievement? Captivated by the moon presence, you pledge to watch over the hunter's dream. You become an infant great one, lifting humanity into its next childhood. Oh, Gaman's badge. We'll have to save them for next time, I guess. So the first time I finished the game, I killed Gurman and took his place. The second time, I became an infant great one and lifted humanity into its next childhood. The next stage of evolution for our species. Queen Yharnam is the crying woman in the white dress after the Rom fight. Again, you have to show you're working out. Like math class, remember? Exactly, Kill, and that's what I think this one is, right? Ending 2. Ah, yeah, just finished, Naz. Just then, mate. The doll is your wet nurse. You take over Gurman's role in the nightmare? Last time, I did, yeah. This time, no. Yeah, I can't check it out without going back to the town, though. Oh, it's in my inventory? Oh. His eye looked like that of a blood drug hunter to me. What a fabulous video game. basically just wake up and go home and start the cycle anew. That makes sense. His eye was the eye of a blood drug hunter? Is the implication there that he was a hunter who killed many beasts, became blood drunk, and now another hunter has come to take him to the nightmare? Fuck yeah, Biz. How's your playthrough going? That's an interesting evolution though, yeah? The hunter kills so many beasts, becomes blood drunk himself, which is Odin's curse, I guess, and then becomes crazed, blood drunk, until the next hunter comes along and sends them to the nightmare, where they live out the rest of their days. Doing chalice dungeons for things? Nice. I should be doing them too. But I don't know if I have it in me. Not now. There's clearly more, because I've never heard of Queen Yharnam before. And there was definitely no connection between Queen Yharnam, who doesn't exist in my world, to the woman in the white dress. So that must be Chalice Dungeon stuff. The Old Hunter Badge. Crafted in Gurman's time, has no practical purpose except perhaps to assist in romanticizing about the past. The badge was a special privilege for the hunters of the past and should not be dishonored. It should be left in peace, unless one is truly prepared to assume the will of those gone before. What is the nightmare exactly? Well, it is exactly... There is no answer exactly. There is your interpretation of what the nightmare is. And how many there are, and whose nightmare it is, if any. We only have some fact. Go to the shop. I thought I had to go to the shop. I guess I will. Twitch does delete VODs over time, but we've kept, Naga's been keeping a collection of Bloodborne VODs, which I'll go through again soon and make sure is all in order. Just missed it, Megastrap, yeah, mate. We're just going back now to check the last of the lore. I got the third ending, Des. No worries, Naz. All good, baby. Thanks, mate. I'll make sure that's included in the VOD description so people can follow along with it. Not doing the Chalice Dungeon this time. Huh. Characters I completely forgot about.
Oh, you must be a hunter.
He was a big deal once.
And not one from around here either.
And we finished his narrative too.
Gilbert, a fellow outside, you must have...
A fellow outsider. There it is. I loved it, Des. We transcended to becoming a great one ourselves, and the doll becomes our wet nurse, I guess. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Holy shit, Darius, you're gonna have internet. My god. That's the best fucking news I've ever heard. Hopefully we'll give it a test run with Cuphead tomorrow. What did you miss? We just finished, Michael. We just finished the game. The Burial Blade, there it is. The trick weapon wielded by Gurman, the first hunter. A masterpiece that defined the entire array of weapons crafted at the workshop. Its blade is forged with siderite, said to have fallen from the heavens. Gurman surely saw the hunt as a dirge of farewell, wishing only that his prey might rest in peace, never again to awaken to another harrowing nightmare. I never did buy that. Or that. Or that. Or that. Did I get the rest? Some new attire? Yeah, I'll check that in a minute. Just checking if I got every weapon. I think I did, right? Oh, there's Gurman's hunter. Oh, here we go. Hunter attire of Gurman, the first hunter. Created before the workshop existed by making adjustments to everyday clothing, and later became the basis for all hunters' garb. The hunter's emphasis on engaging beasts with speed, and therefore of selecting lightweight attire, no doubt traces back to Gurman's own combat style. There you go. Yeah, it's awesome, right, Mike? I love it. I missed it, a gift sub. Naga to Naz. Holy shit, dude. Good on you, Naga. Incredible, Naz. Welcome to the expletives, mate. Thank you very much. Cheers, Naga. Good on you, mate. Yeah, I used the Beast Hunter scythe for a while, Bones. I loved it. Ah, the Beast Claws. That's the weapon I'm missing, right? I think it's the one weapon I'm missing. Since all great ones yearn for a surrogate child, maybe Gurman was the moon presence surrogate, which is why it came after you when you killed him? Maybe. Unreal. He was the oldest hunter, indeed. Oh, is it in the Chalice Dungeons, is it? That'd be why I didn't get it, right.